Welcome to Path to Peace with Todd Perlmutter. I'm your host, Todd Perlmutter. Our world is a projection of our collective consciousness. The more peace we bring into our lives, the more peace we bring into this world. So let the transformation begin. Life is a psychedelic trip. Now, I don't mean it like as in, hey, life's a psychedelic trip, man, far out. Although we could call it that for sure. But what I mean is we are on a psychical journey, an adventure, an experience existing solely in the mind. We don't see reality. There is no red or blue in the universe. We have red and blue color receptors that can convert frequencies of the light spectrum into red and blue. There are no objects in the world. There are slightly different densities of molecules and atoms vibrating at slightly different frequencies. There is no good or bad in the universe. There is only whatever our minds determine is good and bad. We are the creators of meaning. We are the creators of our purpose. We are literally the creators of the entire universe. We are hallucinating the universe. And just like in a psychedelic experience, we may force things to be a certain way. And when things are going dark and we're forcing it to get more positive and bright, we often make it darker and we suffer immensely. But when we let go, this is true of a trip, this is true of life, that light starts to come in and we get to go on a beautiful journey instead of resisting it. Ultimately, there's this dance between the universe and us. And if we are too rigid, if we are bad dancing partners and we are forcing the universe to do moves that it can't do, doesn't want to do, or would be impossible, then there's going to be friction and it's not going to be that beautiful, graceful dance. But when we're fully present, when we are fully aware of our dance partner, the universe, and we are making eye contact, we're attuned to their energy, that is when that beauty of improvisation flourishes. When two can create something better than one. If a dance partner was solely in their head, acted like their dance partner was below them and a failure, and confident that they could pull off a better show if they could just force their way, that would be a disaster. It's the same in improv comedy. It's a team sport. Same with jazz. We build up our teammates because that builds us up, because we're all one. There still may be tension, there may be drama, but we don't deny it, we use it. It's part of the beauty of art. So sometimes life can be scary. Sometimes we can go through dark episodes, and we have to learn how to relax, float downstream, and not fight the current. And it's no different than when we hurt ourselves. We break a bone and we have to breathe into that pain. There's no avoiding it. There's no escaping it. And we just use it as an opportunity to stop fighting, stop trying to look away, and we just make peace with it until we get to that doctor. Most of us are in a constant battle with the universe. We are control freaks, trying to push our way, our own imagined, fantasized, illusory, hallucinatory way, closing out the beauty of our dance partner, the universe, losing faith, instead of remembering that it's all just our own trip, our own adventure. Exciting if we could just step out from ourselves, look at it from beyond our ego. And that is something that a psychedelic trip can offer us, but it is not the way to stepping out from our ego. It can only show us a glimpse of what that is like. That practice comes on us. We have to stand on our own 2 feet and make it something that is natural and permanent, not something that we take off from ourselves once a year. And so we just have to remember that no different than a dream, no different than a psychedelic trip, we are all hallucinating a reality. Nobody is living in reality. Very few people, if any. We are all living in a world that is completely created by our beliefs and blinded by our thoughts. We cannot see reality clearly because we are full of stress, anxiety, rage, and anger, often subconsciously that we're not even aware of, and carrying heaps of pressure that we accepted from others and agreed to put on ourselves. Now, some people are hallucinating more than others. This is just evidence of how powerful our brains are. Some people have to take medication because their break from reality is so severe. But this break is a spectrum, and we all fall on it to some extent. We all have beliefs, which means we're not seeing reality as it is. We are overlaying it with our own interpretation. And we are all giving our utmost importance to a illusion. If in our illusion we spill a glass of milk, we act like it's the end of the world. But there is no evidence that our lives are any more real than our dreams. We just haven't woken up yet. In every dream we have, with the exception of lucid dreaming, we believe wholeheartedly that that is our reality. Even if we go to sleep in New York City and we dream we're on an alien planet, it convinces us that it's real. We don't even ask ourselves, how did we get here? It is 100% real to us. And that is just proof that a total fantasy, hallucination, illusion can trick us into believing it is reality. So why are we getting so worked up about something that we know is not real? Why do we believe in that hallucination of good and bad? The answer is quite simply because we have never touched reality as it truly is, the true source of creation. We never have a moment of true stillness and inner silence, which is to also be in true rest and communion with the universe. Only through direct contact can there be true understanding, which means only that when the mind is silenced can there be wisdom. And that wisdom and awareness will maintain the awareness that it's all just illusion. We can witness even our own mind, our own desires, the same as any other phenomena we see in our lives. Fleeting, impermanent, and essentially unreal, holding no true significance because it is just an illusion, like a magic trick that's here one minute, gone the next. In a poof of smoke, everything changes. Everything is temporary. Any pressure we put on ourselves, any pressure other people try to put on us, is not real, not important, and doesn't help us reach our goals. Any performer even learns in school how to relax on stage or on camera, because the slightest pressure gets picked up and it stresses out the audience. And so they learn breathing techniques and other ways of recognizing tension in the body and how to loosen it up. Whether it is in the boardroom or in the bedroom, pressure makes us perform worse. And any self-doubt, worry, insecurity, all stems from that incessant mental activity that divides us and disconnects us from the universe and gives us a second-hand, illusory perspective, interpreted through our ego. But we do not need an interpreter of life. We do not need a translator. We have wisdom, the wisdom of every other animal that does not need to second-guess themselves, doubt themselves, rely on others for advice. And all we have to do is one simple thing: recognize the illusion. As soon as we know how a magic trick is done, it no longer blows our mind. It no longer tricks us. And we're not going to panic thinking that the assistant has just been sawed in half. Now here is the secret for always having a good trip, no matter what the content of your experience is. And that is love. Only love, which is not a feeling, it's not an emotion, it's not a bond between two people. It is the pure, total, and devoted attention. And only love can give us direct experience of anything. Only love can give us true understanding and wisdom into anything. The more you love, the wiser you become, because you are communing with the universe, with the people in your lives, with reality exactly as it is. Love is not possession. It is not conditional. And it is not selective. It is all-encompassing and all-inclusive. As soon as it becomes selective or conditional, and even when we say love is unconditional, we really mean it's on the condition of someone being a relative or someone not being a murderer. We have all these conditions on unconditional love. But as soon as we put those conditions in place, then love becomes a love with an image of someone or something in our mind, because we have determined its value, its worth, whether it's good or bad, deserving or undeserving. All that mental game. This doesn't mean inviting a serial killer over for dinner or going to your abuser and saying, I forgive you, let's be friends again. It's nothing like that. It is simply giving whatever is in front of you, whatever you are focusing on, your total and undivided attention. We only give our attention to what we determine is worthy of our attention. But what in this magical universe is unworthy of our awareness, especially when it is right in front of us? When we all give our total attention to what is around us, we clean up our corner of the world and make it beautiful. And that becomes contagious. And that is how enlightenment can become an epidemic, and peace on earth will flourish. A lot of people just say all the time, I just want a peaceful life. Oh, I just wish life would just be peaceful. I wish, I could just move here, or this person would just leave me alone, or everything would just go right for a while. All I care about is a peaceful life. But do you get it yet? Have you had enough shocks and tragedy to realize it yet? A peaceful life lies in the mind. The world is full of chaos and always will be. No matter how good life gets, humans find a way to fight, get depressed, and anxious. Until you make your mind peaceful, you wouldn't enjoy utopia, even if you had it. And it starts with recognizing that life is an illusion, that this is the greatest psychedelic trip known to man, that all the stuff we think matters isn't even real. And only through love, loving the whole of this universe, can we step out of our brain and become one with everything. Everything else is the hallucination of our thoughts and fantasies. To be lost in our thoughts for no reason, when we're just reliving a fight or an argument, or we're ruminating over some negative experience, or we're living in the future, whether it's good or bad. We are no different than a mental patient who thinks they're the Queen of England. Both are just stuck in a mental story that is not real. And it stops us from enjoying this incredible trip that we're all on, full of exciting characters, a rich tapestry of flavors, sounds, and smells and textures that we're usually too busy in our head to appreciate and witness. If you were to wake up from this dream of life, this trip, and you were to look back on the time you spent there, would you have enjoyed that wild ride as much as you could have? Or did you succumb to false bitterness, imagined fear, and illusory conflict? Did your fear turn you to greed? Or did you stay present and aware of the fact that it was just a dream? Did you stay loving and kind despite the imagined dangers everywhere? That is the world we live in. We are being tested to show our true colors. And if we stay good, if we stay loving, if we stay open, the wealth of peace and joy will be ours. The beauty of this world will be appreciated, and the suffering of resistance to this wild trip will turn into acceptance and a state of pure, blissful awareness. Simply by remembering it is just a psychedelic trip, the most incredible high-tech light show and sound show the world has ever seen. Unpredictable, exciting, adventurous. The stakes seem so high, but we all get to the same finish line. We all reach the end just the same. And what happened at the end has no importance. All that matters is every moment along the way and how filled it was with love and presence. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much for the support that all of you have given to this podcast, either through donating at eastwesticism.org, Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon, or on YouTube, or even just anyone who's left a review or shared it with a friend. It is only because of you that I am able to keep doing this podcast, keep sharing these important messages, and hopefully bringing a little more light into this beautiful world. Thank you again. Much love. You have been listening to Path to Peace with Todd Perlmutter. Being here and putting in this important and noble work is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself and others. If you found this podcast even a little helpful, please make sure to leave a review so it can reach others who may be in need. And remember, the path to peace starts with a single step.